idea that I'm out of touch with people?
No,
Is
with the
ridiculous.
party.
I'm out of touch with the party?
Because you don't even know the correct analysis of why we lost the
Well,
election.
in your opinion,
Because I was there, and all these people were there.
too.
I'm not excluding anybody, I'm just saying you were busy in the higher reaches of the party and not on the ground. I don't think that's so mysterious or confusing.
Well, I just don't know what you're trying to say here. So.
What I'm trying to say
You're not going
is,
to vote for me? Don't vote for me.
what I'm trying to say is, what plan do you have to actually get down in the trenches and beyond just going on TV and showing your beautiful face and everything?
Let me, my beautiful face, thank you. Let me just suggest to you two things you said that you thought that the chair's job was. One was he was a cheerleader. That's who you think I think. Absolutely, part of it's being a cheerleader.
I'm saying that's not the whole job.
No, it's not the whole job. Another part of the job is a fundraiser? You bet. That's exactly what the job of a state chair is, to raise as much possible
So now
money.
we've agreed on Mom and Apple Pie that fundraising and press releases are good. I'm saying, what about the rest of it?
Okay, we'll just have, that's like the last question out of Rob for today, if you don't mind. And then we'll move on.
Yes,
but-
so go ahead.
The Health Security Act,
Oh, geez.
trying to get single payer. Part of our party platform. How are you going to push that forward in order to win the next election? Because getting health care is indeed the most fundamental of human rights.
Human rights, I agree with you. I agree with you on that premise you just said. How to do it? Well, to encourage every single legislator that we have, who's a Democrat, to remember what Victor just said earlier about the party platform and about how this is a core Democratic value. I can't go and vote for each legislator as the state chair, but I can certainly remind them as much as possible about what our core values are. And as core values as Democrats, that is as at the top of the list as any other one. And I think the chair of the state party needs to do everything he can to be up at the legislature and talking with our fellow Democrats who are elected and saying, don't forget this is a core value that is in our platform that we need your help. Other than that, I'm not sure a state chair can do too much other than whenever asked, whenever the topic comes up, when the debates are going on between the Republicans and Democrats, for example, on talk radio, on what is supposed to, what we stand for, that's something the state chair needs to be talking about. But the silver bullet, I don't have one, other than to be working it. Yes?
Sam, you live in my area, and I live up in the Northeast Heights, and as you know, the Northeast Heights has a lot of Republicans, but we've also made some inroads in with some of our candidates in the last election. Small inroads. How do you see, and how much support would you give those candidates coming out again as Democrats to run for the same races? Because as Rob would not be there for us, you know, we need to be in the face of some of those people in the far Northeast Heights, because there are a lot of Democrats there. The Democratic Party, this county party, doesn't get up there to those far Northeast Heights. And let me tell you, you and I have lived there for the last 20 years, and we know what that is like. We live amongst them and amongst the Republicans. What would you do to try to get some of the people there to help so we can make and get, possibly even getting one representative would be a real plus?
It would be huge, right? It would be a big plus. And we have a lot of Democrats.
And you ran for city councilman and you ran there and you won. How would you help the others do what you did?
Well, obviously it is, what's that?
It's a nonpartisan.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a nonpartisan race, however, you know.
Yeah,
Nonetheless, though, you are right, though. And when I said earlier no Republican should go uncontested, that certainly applies in the Northeast Heights of Albuquerque. We do have some good candidates that have run, that have really made some inroads. But we've got to help with resources. You know, for example, the data that's collected on Democrats at the state party can be used to help these candidates more, as far as getting more volunteers out for them, as far as getting other elected officials out for them in their district. That's something the state chair can say. Is Joe, Jimmy over there needs some help with a picnic they're having at the park. Can you go out and rally a little bit and say, hey, I am a state senator, and this guy would be great up there in the Senate, and not let these guys shy away from that. Because sometimes you hear this stuff, well, I've got other colleagues up in the Northeast Heights that may be Republican and I have to work with them. When it's election time, you go out and you support Democrats as fellow elected leaders, and that's what I think a state chair needs to encourage every elected leader to do, and also giving them every bit of volunteer support